My name is Zephyr and I'm going to explain to you the requirements, or I'm going to explain to you the parts of a boat, why proper body positioning is very important. So what we have, for first class requirements 6C and 6D respectively. So what we have here is a kayak. Some boating terminology that you should know is the front. Well, first off, all boats are going to be split into three sections. There's going to be the bow, which is like the front third section, the amidships, which is the middle section, and then the stern, which is the back section. And then they have their corresponding seats named after them. This is a kayak, so unfortunately it only has one seat. But if you were in a canoe or a like rowboat, for example, this would you would have like three seats. This would be the bow seat, the midship seat, and the stern seat. So I've established that this part is the front of my boat. So I'm going to be, I can imagine myself being in this, I would be facing, forward. But there's actually like sailor terms for this. So when you're facing forward, that is like a direction, versus when you're facing aft, you're facing back. Now this is important because you could be sitting in the bow seat facing forward, or you could be sitting in the bow seat facing aft. So it's important. It's important to know your directions. Now, again, this is going to be this. I'm aligned basically perfectly with it right now. So my left is called port. The left side is called port, and then the right side is called starboard. The starboard side. So yeah, that's some of the basic terminology. Some of the basic parts of it. There's kind of this top supporting like rib that goes all the way around. It's just the top part that helps stabilize the boat. That's called the gunnel. This is on kayaks, canoes, dinghies, and a lot of other boats. There's also on canoes. There's something called a fort, which they're basically like cross beams that go across, which also help support the boat, which helps support the walls of the canoe. Usually most boats, they're going to have something which is called a painter. This is a painter. This little like hook right here, it's used to attach the boat to a rope. Now with rowboats, you're going to have something called a transom and transom knees. A transom is kind of like a dip in the aft part of the boat, and transom knees are like little tiny like plates that kind of go like on top of it. It's really interesting. Canoes have something called a deck plate, whereas dinghy, or what am I saying, a dinghy? Whereas rowboats have what's called a breastplate. They're basically the same thing. It's a plate at the bow, where stuff can be laid down on. So yeah, those are the oh, the midpoint is called the waterline. The underneath the waterline, I believe it's called the draft, and above the waterline it's called freeboard. Oftentimes, yeah, this one has it. This is called a keel. It's a raised rib at the bottom of the boat, which helps it to kind of stay on course. The keel, it's a very long rib which goes like vertically across the entire length of the boat. It helps it stay on course, and just, yeah, basically. So yeah, that's some of the basic terminology of that most boats are going to have. So yeah. Also, I don't really have a paddle with me right now, but a paddle, you have your, oh, this would be a paddle actually. Yeah. So a paddle, you have your grip. You have your grip, which is the part that you grip onto, the shaft, with the throat, the blade, and then the tip. So the blade, the paddle, it's going to be lightly submerged in the water. You're probably going to have your hand more down towards the throat. You're going to have your hand more down towards the throat. It's going to be like lightly skimming the water. Whereas an oar, don't really see one here, but an oar, it's a bit different. It's designed specifically for rowing on a rowboat. You have your handle, button, leather. You have your handle, then which is like the part that you grip onto, the button and the leather, which are the ports that help it kind of like stay in the little tiny hooks on the rowboat. You have your loom, which is the same thing as a shaft, then your throat, blade, and tip, and then your throat, blade, and tip. So as opposed to a paddle, an oar goes way deeper into the water. So yeah, that would be all the things. That would be everything for requirement 6C. Now I'm going to move on to requirement 6D. Now requirement 6D, I'm going to tell you basically like proper body positioning in a boat. So in a canoe, you're going to sit. If you are alone in a canoe, you're going to sit in the aft of the boat, facing forward. You can either sit in the seat or you can kneel directly in front of it. And you want to try and stay low down and try not to peer over, because especially on canoes, you can tip the boat over. So yeah, that's why it's important to stay. That's why it's important to stay in the aft facing forward in a canoe. Or sorry, what am I saying? You're supposed to sit in the stern facing forward in a canoe. So and I'll just go ahead and give you an example. I'll give you an example. Imagine that this kayak is a canoe. It's been split into 3 sections. You're going to be sitting in the stern, let's imagine this is the stern seat, and you're going to be facing forward. Or you can be kneeling directly in front of it. Now with a rowboat, it's going to be slightly different. If you're powering it, like if you're the one who's actually powering the rowboat, you're going to be sitting in the midship seat, and you're going to be facing aft. Now, so what that's going to mean is you're going to be sitting in the middle, and then you're going to be facing back. Where someone who's called your coxswain, they're going to be sitting in the stern, facing forward. So basically, you're facing each other. Coxswain right here, who's directing you, and you're right here in the midship seat. You're actually powering the boat, and yeah, that's how that works. It's important to have this configuration because in a rowboat you don't want to like go off course and crash. It's going to be really hard to look over your back while you're trying to row. It's a different thing. With kayaks, most kayaks are single seater, so you're going to be sitting in the probably more so in the back. Probably more so in the stern, but you're going to be sitting in the single seat in the kayak, and you're going to be facing forward. And yeah, I kind of like imagine it as a part of your body as you go. Kayak paddles, it's dual-ended, so you have blades and tips on both sides. And yeah, I believe it just works the same as a regular paddle. So that was requirement 6D for first class. Thank you for watching. I'm Zephyr Carter. Bye. My name is Zephyr Carter, and this is kind of a continuation of requirement 6C, first class. I just want to show you what an oar looks like. Now this one doesn't have a button in leather to help it kind of like stay in place, but it still works. So you have your handle, so you're going to hold it like this, and you're going to be like rowing. Again, you're going to be facing aft in the midship seat, with your coxswain in the stern facing forward, guiding you. You're going to be doing this. And I guess this one can kind of just slide all around. The button is meant to make it not slide. This kind of like shaft thing right here. This is actually called the loom. This entire thing right here is called a loom, as opposed to a paddle. This is a paddle. Wait, no, it's not. This is also an oar. This is, as opposed to a paddle, which the main thing is actually just called a shaft. This thing right here is called the loom, as opposed to a shaft on a paddle. Now, again, you have your basic parts. So the throat, the blade, and then the tip. So again, with an oar, you're going to go way deeper in the water. That's why this thing is way longer. You're going to go way deeper in the water. That's also why the blade isn't so like wide. It's just very long. It's meant to help you just full raw power of going forward. So this is for requirement 6C. My name is Zephyr, and thank you for watching. Bye.